Hey everybody here. It is Wednesday, September 15th, 2021. My name is JJ. You're watching Bull, Boom, Bear, Bust. Are banks running out of money? Well, I'm going to tell you some information here that might make you think along the lines of what I'm thinking. And I'm thinking, yes, they are running out of money. It doesn't mean every bank, every branch, but we're going to talk about that here in a minute. First, thank you for like and subscribing these videos and continuing to come back and supporting the channel. Thank you very much. If you're not subscribed, please double check. It really helps the channel and helps us get the message out there. Right, so here's how this started as far as banks running out of money. So I've been noticing over the past year and a half that every time I go to the bank to get cash, and I do certain transactions where I have to have cash, so I go in and usually get 40 or 50 ones. No, it's not. Not going to a strip club. It's not anything illegal. It might be illegal here the way things are going. In a few months, it'll be illegal. But you just never know with these crazy quote unquote leaders. But the point I'm getting at is every time I went to get cash now out of the bank, is the bills have been, at least they look and smell brand new, like they've never been touched. And before, years and years, I've never really noticed that on consecutive visits to the bank getting cash that it was brand new bills. So now fast forward to here recently, I have kind of an insider, someone that works at a bank branch, and they say that on Fridays they get their shipment of cash. Now, why would they need shipments of fresh cash, freshly printed cash, when they have customers that deposit cash into the bank? Right? So what's happening is there's so many people just going digital, completely digital, that the physical cash deposits in the banks are not enough to keep up with the demand for physical cash withdrawals. Right? So on one hand, you can say, well, people are going digital. Okay, then why is the demand for physical cash withdrawals outweighing the physical cash deposits? Obviously, the money that's being taken out is being used and spent somewhere, and the people that get that cash, apparently they're not depositing it back into the banks. And that leads to a whole different conversation of interest rates. With interest rates being so low, people are not incentivized to deposit anything in the banks. Of course, some people still are because you have to pay bills, you have to have money in there to transact and just live life. Most of us, anyway, unless you're living off the grid. But digital and physical cash being deposited into the banks, of course, has been declining because there's no incentive. And it's a problem when you have banks that can just get shipments of as much cash as they need. So therefore, they're not incentivized to incentivize you to deposit money into their bank. And what would incentivizing you to deposit your money in the bank look like? It would be more interest on your cash. You see, when banks don't need your cash, when they don't need your deposits to do business, then interest rates are just going to stay low and continually go lower. And this is the problem of this money system, where endless amounts of fiat cash can be printed or digitized. It's really not printed for the most part, digitized out of thin air, clicks of a mouse. So not only does it enable market manipulation and traders to go in at the click of a mouse, sell off thousands, tens of thousands of shares of a stock, for example, it also leads to the destruction of your purchasing power and people choosing not to be savers. So when you're a saver, you're basically losing money because the cost of living and inflation is eating up the dollars that are just sitting in your checking account, earning, for in most cases, a fraction of a percent on interest. All right, so let me know what you think, please, about that. And this doesn't mean, again, it doesn't mean that it's happening at all branches, all banks, but I do know someone that works at a bank, at a branch, and they get shipments of fresh printed bills, freshly printed, newly printed, on Fridays. If more people were depositing their cash versus people taking out cash, then they really wouldn't need that, would they? Unless the cash is just getting old. And of course, at some point, the paper is going to get old and has to be replaced. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about weekly shipments of freshly printed paper right? So again, I just want to be clear. I'm not saying the banks are running out of cash, because cash can be looked at also digitally. And as you know, banks can loan out endless amounts of digital money. It's just digits on a screen. It's not in physical form. I'm talking about the paper bills. So thought that was pretty interesting. Let's take a quick shot at the markets here. And I might catch back up here later today. We'll have to see. But here we are in the green, all major indexes. Again, no surprise. This market's going to keep going up until it stops going up. Now, many people are predicting some sort of rug pull, and some people are pointing to the October debt ceiling situation. Either way, I mean, prepare either way. Preparations should be pretty similar either way. Inflation, deflation, either way is not going to be pretty. In fact, I would prefer deflation and a price collapse instead of continuous inflation. But either way, it's going to be bad. So deflation, you're going to see a lot of jobs lost, even worse than what we're seeing now and what we've seen over the past year and a half. Hyperinflation, inflation are just continuing the inflation that we've witnessed so far over the past couple of years. It's going to continue to eat into these household budgets. More people are going to be dependent on payouts and assistance programs. More people are going to be not able to pay their rents. And you know, the situation with the eviction moratorium, it's still happening in some places. But either way, there's no way out of this. There's no stopping the collapse that's coming. And it could be an inflationary collapse. That means a collapse of your purchasing power. It could be deflationary. That means the markets go down. And it could be a mix. What if we see the markets, maybe the rug gets pulled out of the markets, but yet because of the shortages and lack of manufacturing, the cost of living for a lot of our goods and products still increases, right? So you could see some sort of mix. I mean, we're in uncharted territory. No one knows exactly how this is going to unfold, but we do know that it's not good either way. And something I wanted to point out here, this is just Yahoo Finance. Oil back up again. Remember, it dropped down. I believe it got around $66. And actually, in mid to late August, it was even lower. I think it was around $62. And I said, well, we're probably going to see the price go back up. I said it was a pullback. And look what's happened. We're back up over $72, a gain of almost 3% just today. And we're headed into the fall season when the summer travel is supposed to be decreasing. Kids are back in school, etc. But yet oil price is still rising. Gas prices likely are not going to go down. So it just points to what we've been saying here on this channel for a long time. Prices are going to continue to rise. The cost of living is going to continue to rise. Gas still between about $4.20, $4.40 a gallon here in my neck of the woods, Southern California. That's going to eat further into households' incomes and their budgets. And yes, for those asking, I'm still stacking silver. The price is still being held down, in my opinion. At some point, though, we're going to see a slingshot. Remember when it jumped up to about 27, 28, I said I'm pulling back on the purchases. I never go in and buy big when prices have already took a leap. I scale back. But now is when I'm accumulating, and if it pulls back more, I'll accumulate more. So just what I'm doing, continuing more of the same. What do you think about the cash situation with the banks? And this inflation, what are you seeing for gas prices? Do you see gas prices ever going back down? Well, maybe a deflationary depression scenario would allow that, but not if production is not ramping up to meet demand. It's still going to be rising prices. So you could see, again, a mix of inflation, deflation. You just never know what's going to happen. But thanks for being here, for watching this. Hope you're as well prepared as you can be, and hope you're staying healthy, staying safe. Keep stacking, people. Until next time, bye for now. Peace.